Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM. Our night of movies starring Louis Hayward continues with another historical adventure, the genre that served as a staple throughout Hayward's career. Louis Hayward pictures were often literary adaptations, though usually fairly loose adaptations, more like extensive reimaginings. Whether the movies were based on the work of Alexander Dumas, Raphael Sabatini, or the writer whose work was adapted for our next film, Robert Louis Stevenson, the themes were relatively consistent: romance, adventure, and an intricate web of secret identities and imperiled relationships. This one's from director Gordon Douglas in 1948, the TCM premiere of The Black Arrow. Louis Hayward leads the way as a war-weary knight returning home to England after fighting in the War of the Roses in the 15th century. His homecoming is marred by the news that not only has his father been murdered, but the culprit is an old family friend, and he's already been executed. When Hayward receives evidence that the real killer is someone else, he sets out to avenge his father's death and rescue a distressed damsel while he's at it. The Black Arrow's director, Gordon Douglas, was among Hollywood's most reliable and versatile filmmakers with a career that spanned 5 decades. Douglas started out as an actor, began directing our-gang shorts in the 1930s, including the Academy Award winner Board of Education from 1936. That's Board, B-O-R-E-D. But he soon moved on to cover pretty much every genre imaginable: gangster pictures, war movies, comedies, dramas, biopics, musicals, sci-fi pictures. Among his movies were I Was a Communist for the FBI, Young at Heart, Them, Between Midnight and Dawn, Up, Periscope, The Sins of Rachel Cade, Robin and the Seven Hoods, In Like Flint, and whatever Viva Knievel was. Douglas and Hayward worked together on 3 more films: a Cold War spy thriller, a pirate adventure, and a Western. This is their medieval swashbuckler, also with Janet Blair, George McCready, and Edgar Buchanan, from 1948, released by Columbia, The Black Arrow. That was Louis Hayward as Sir Richard in The Black Arrow. Hayward was all too familiar with playing a soldier returning from war. Born in Johannesburg, South Africa, raised in England, Hayward became a U.S. citizen the day before the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. After enlisting in the Marines, Hayward commanded a photographic unit assigned to shoot footage of the Battle of Tarawa, an atoll held by Japan. Hayward survived the brutal 4-day siege, which ultimately ended in the Americans taking Tarawa, but the carnage he had witnessed had a profound psychological impact on Hayward. It affected him particularly when he had to edit the footage, which meant he had to review the gruesome horrors of war he'd already lived through. Louis Hayward was awarded the Bronze Star for meritorious conduct and the performance of outstanding service, but that same service also resulted in Hayward's hospitalization for PTSD, which in turn played a significant role in Hayward's 1945 divorce from his wife, actress Ida Lupino, who eventually became a director. Despite its graphic nature, the short film, titled With the Marines at Tarawa, it was released to the public by President Franklin Roosevelt so America could see authentic images of the sacrifice American servicemen and their families were making. The film won the 1944 Oscar for Best Documentary Short Subjects, but Hayward's work as the director went uncredited, as did the work of his co-director, future Academy Award winner Richard Brooks. Coming up, another Louis Hayward Technicolor adventure, Captain Pirate from 1952, is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, Captain Pirate, then The Saint in New York, and later, repeat performance. Louis Hayward gives us an encore tonight.